So you've been watching self-improvement videos. You create a morning routine, wake up at 4 a.m., meditate, journal, cold showers, go for a run. Oh, I'm going to be disciplined today. I'm going to be a superhero. But when that alarm clock goes off at 4 a.m., maybe I'll be a superhero tomorrow. And then you wake up at 6, 7, 8, and sometimes even 9 and 10 and 11 a.m. And then you're stuck in this perpetual cycle of not achieving anything significant throughout your day because you did not even start your day how you wanted it to start. Hi, I'm Aiman, and I have been on the self-improvement journey for the past 1 year, and I have created this YouTube channel to share my knowledge and help you become better. Part 1. Optimizing sleep. When you sleep and how much you sleep will directly correlate to your ability to wake up early. Now I understand that getting 8 hours of sleep every single day is not possible for many of us. However, what we should strive for is getting that 6 to 7 hours of sleep every single day, and then on weekends longer. But the point here is, getting that 6 to 7 hours sleep every single day will help us with our brain detoxification. That is, clearing of waste products and toxins from our brain and restoring energy. As a result, you feel rather refreshed when you wake up than you would have if you got less sleep. 1.1. Time-restricted feeding. After researching intensely on this topic and practicing it on my own as well, the conclusion is that we should refrain from eating or even drinking anything 2 hours prior to sleep. So when I go to bed around 9:30 or 10, I resist eating and drinking anything after 7 p.m. I just have a sip of water if my throat gets dry. What we should also aim for is to ingest carbohydrates at night. Okay, so a quick carbohydrate guide here. Carbohydrates are made up of 3 components: fiber, starch, and sugar. Fiber and starch make up complex carbohydrates, whereas sugar makes up simple carbohydrates. What we need to have is complex carbohydrates because it increases serotonin production in the body, which helps us to transition into sleep due to its effects on sleepiness and relaxation. Okay, so chicken, fish, rice, and sometimes even just pasta and vegetables are good examples of complex carbohydrates. People who are on a low carb diet find it difficult to fall and stay asleep. This is because they are never able to achieve those heightened levels of serotonin which is required to fall asleep. Part 2. Temperature. We have heard of the concept of warming up, right? Athletes warm up before going on their focus session on a particular activity. What warming up basically does is that it increases your heart rate, which increases your blood flow, and this enables oxygen to reach your muscles. So we warm up our body to get into the state of alertness, whereas we cool down our body to get into the state of relaxation. So we cool down at night, whereas we warm up during the day. It's, as you can see, 4 in the morning. Imagine taking a cold shower at 4 in the morning. Guess who does? 2.1. Cold exposure. Now this topic did leave me a bit perplexed because the facts were all over the place. Some research was telling me that it actually decreases the body temperature while some were telling it increases. And then they were like, first it decreases, then it increases. But I did figure out the true facts and figures after some hours of research, and those are as follows. The effect of cold shower on body temperature actually depends on the duration of the cold shower. So if it's a short duration cold shower, let's just say under 5 minutes, the core body temperature will actually bounce back to normal pretty quickly, and there will be release of adrenaline, a hormone which prepares our body for physical exertion. So cold showers are a pretty good option to gain alertness in the mornings. On the other hand, long duration cold showers, let's just say over 5 minutes, actually decrease the core body temperature and can help us fall asleep faster and better in fact. Okay, so before we move on, I'm no nutritionist, but I've learned this from Dr. Andrew Huberman, and I do believe it to be true. If you eat a very large meal, no matter how much you have slept before, it could be 10 hours or whatever, or you're about to go to sleep, or it's in the middle of afternoon, whatever. If your gut is full of food, you're going to divert a lot of blood and other critical resources away from organs, and in particular your brain, and you're going to feel sleepy after your big meal. So if you have a large breakfast, it is very likely that you're going to be immediately tired after that. Part 3. Alarms. Yes, it's morning now. So this might sound like a silly advice, but it does work, so here we go. The device you set the alarm on should be placed far from where you're sleeping. So when the alarm actually goes off, you have to physically get up to turn off the alarm. Now this makes our mind conscious of the fact that it's morning and it's time to get up. Now I personally go a step further, and I have 2 devices on which I set the alarm. One is this one and the other one in which I'm recording right now. So yeah, it really wakes me up. Part 4. Meditations. Now I have this book with me, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and I want to read a passage from this book. And if you have this book, you can look it up. Book 5, passage number 1. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for? The things I was brought into the world to do? Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm? But it's nicer here. So you were born to feel nice, instead of doing things and experiencing them? Don't you see the plants, the birds, the ants, and spiders and bees going about their individual tasks, putting the world in order as best as they can? And you're not willing to do your job as a human being? Why aren't you running to do what your nature demands? But we have to sleep sometime. Agreed. But nature set a limit on that, as it did on eating and drinking. And you're over the limit. You've had more than enough of that, but not of working. There you're still below your quota. You don't love yourself enough, or you'd love your nature too, and what it demands of you. People who love what they do wear themselves down doing it. They even forget to wash or eat. Do you have less respect for your own nature than the engraver does for engraving, the dancer for the dance, the miser for money, or the social climber for status? When they are really possessed by what they do, they'd rather stop eating and sleeping than give up practicing their arts. So there we go. However, I want to reread one line here. But we have to sleep sometime. Agreed. But nature set a limit on that, as it did on eating and drinking. And you're over the limit. You've had more than enough of that, but not of working. There you're still below your quota. I heard this thought somewhere and it resonated with me, so I want to repeat it here. Work while they sleep. Learn while they party. And live like they dream. So if you learned something from the video, I would really appreciate you liking the video, and you know what all to do. I'll see you in the next video with some more quality content.